Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for Damstra Insights, for safety, our webinar. My name's Ruth. I work for Ideagen Damstra Technology as a trainer, and I'm so happy to be joined today, co-facilitated by Head of Innovation for Damstra called Paul Hempsel. Now, Paul is the expert. It's his baby, Damstra Insights, and Paul's going to be here to talk to you a bit about the journey of insights. Then I'm going to show you a demonstration on how to create a monthly report dashboard with some of those new features. And then at the end of this, if you're still around and you want to talk to Paul, please put your questions and answers in the chat, and Paul will directly answer those in this chat. Or if he needs to go away and find out something, he'll get back to you. So I'm going to turn my camera off now and over to Paul, and then I'll be back to give you a demo on building a monthly report dashboard. So thank you so much. Enjoy the webinar.
Thanks for the introduction, Ruth. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Damstra Damstra Insights for Safety webinar. As Ruth mentioned, my name's Paul Hempsel, and I'm the product owner for Damstra Insights. We're really excited to be able to share with you some of the latest improvements to the Damstra Insights product. It's come a long way since we first launched it in 2022, so that's 20 odd months ago, and most of that growth is thanks to the incredible feedback that we've received from our customers. So we've been working really tightly with our customers to mature the data sets that drive our dashboards by refining existing dashboards and creating entirely new sources such as the return to work modules and most recently the SWIMS JSA's dashboard. So please, if there's any missing fields or entirely new sources that you need to see in Damstra Insights, please reach out and let us know. We really do want to know what standard dashboards you want to see in the product. So Insights is a self-service product that allows customers to dynamically interact with data from across the enterprise protection platform, and that's including safety. It helps our customers get their safety reporting off the ground with a library of almost 60 standard dashboards, and that's ranging from dashboards with the events register, observations, the performance and KPI indicators, compliance and risk assessments, just to name a few. These reports and dashboard are carefully curated and maintained by our team of BI engineers to make sure that they're optimized and fast. And ultimately, this helps our safety customers get up and running with their reporting with next to no technical knowledge required. In this part 1 webinar, Ruth's going to showcase many of the new features for Damstra Insights and show you how you can easily build your own monthly reporting dashboard. And I'm sure this webinar will be a welcome addition to our growing library of insights, training videos and guides. And as Ruth mentioned, I'll be around to help answer any questions throughout the session. Okay, so over to you, Ruth.
Thanks, Paul. Well, I'll kick it off and I'm going to show you what we're going to be building today. So here it is, team. This is our monthly report with our total events, completed events, and this is what we're going to start building today. So you'll see that I have this in the view mode, and the view mode is through this little icon here, like an eye. So when I created the dashboard, it looked a lot like this. And then to view the dashboard, I have view there. So that's what we're going to start off with today. We'll probably get through the first 2 lines of this with some of the new features to build your own dashboard. I'll go back to the library, and the first thing I'm going to do is add my dashboard. Remember, we've got 2 types of users here. We've got creators and we've got viewers. Creators have share dashboard and add dashboard. So I'll go ahead and add a dashboard. As soon as I've clicked add a dashboard, it'll ask me if I want to add a visual from the visual gallery or existing visual from the visual gallery, or make my own visual from the sources. And those sources are all the fields and all the tabs within safety. So to start my dashboard, I'm going to add an existing visual. Oh, I'm just going to go back a bit. Talking about existing visuals, if I was to go to my events register, I should just mention how you find out the name of the visual that you want. So this one here in our events register, a standard register, and I look at this event count. I'm going to go to the settings of that event count just by clicking on those 3 dots, those settings, And you'll see in the information little tab in the menu here, the visual name is called Safety Events Register Event Count, and the visual type is what's called a KPI. So these blocks here are called KPI visuals. If I wanted to know what this one was, it's a donut, it's called Events Register Event Type. So backing up the bus a bit, we're just going to go back and add our dashboard. Add an existing visual, and I want it from the events register, and it's called, scroll down a bit, my event count. So I'm going to add that there. Then I'm going to add an existing visual from my events register called completed events. And I'm sure by the end of this webinar, you're all going to be rinsing and repeating what we're going to be doing. We want our underway events, add an existing visual. What's next? Our not started events. Right, so I've added my 4 KPIs from that events register, those blocks. But I'm going to go ahead and add some more. So I'm going to add an existing visual, and this time I'm going to add it from my investigations module or my investigations register. And I'm going to add that KPI, total investigations. And I'm not bothered about their placement at the moment, I'm just adding them all here. Add an existing visual, and it's going to be my completed investigations. And you probably would have guessed the other ones as well. I want my underway investigations and my not started investigations. So there I have all my blocks that I wanted in my top row. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and save my dashboard. So I'm going to save my dashboard, and I'm going to call that Acme Group. And save that. So there it is, Acme Group monthly report year to date. So if I use my green eye and have a look at that, that's how it would be printing. But we're going to do something with this one. The first thing I want to do is grab that visual, because I want them all on the same line. I'm going to drag it up here and put it right at the end. I'm going to put that one there as well. And that one. And that one. So you'll notice here that they aren't all the same width. Let me show you something new that you might not have seen before. I'm going to come up here to this dashboard layout. And in my dashboard layout, these are called widgets. It says my minimum widget width is 250 and my height is 50. Well, I'm going to change those. And for some reason, this seems to work for me when I've got 8 widgets in a row. I'm going to change that to 237, and my height, I want that to be 135. And you'll see where that comes into play. So here we go, 237, 135. And then with all my widgets, I'm going to resize them just by dragging that edge over. And I'm getting them all the same width. And that is my event count, so I'm going to leave that as the biggest one. You remember I made that height? I'm going to grab the bottom and I'll drag that height all the way up like that. And let's have a look at that. Okay, there's a bit of work to do there, but we're getting there. All right. This one here is Safety Events Register. I'm going to rename that one my Total Events Reported. And because I'm using standard visuals or widgets from the visual gallery, I want to play around with these ones in this dashboard without adding all the versions to my visual gallery. So for this dashboard, I'm going to go to my 3 dots and convert that to local. And when I convert that to local, you'll see that little location local icon here that's different from here. That means the changes that I'm making to these widgets or visuals are only specific to this dashboard, and I'm not affecting where it appears anywhere else on dashboards. I'll do the rest. I'll go completed events, convert to local. And this one's going to be my total investigations. Completed investigations. Underway investigations. And of course, you could put anything you like up here. It's the same principle for whatever dashboard you're building. And not started. Right, back over this side, total events reported. This is where the magic happens. And I'm going to go to my 3 dots, to my settings, and it's got total events reported. I'm just going to grab that, control copy, and header and picker I'm going to hide. So this bit up here and this bit down here, they are called the headers and the pickers. So the header and the picker, I'm going to hide, apply. And then I'll go to my graphic equalizer settings, and I'm going to enter my metric label. That's the label in here. And I'm going to add total events reported. And you'll see that it's appeared up here. Then I'm going to go to my color palette. And in my color palette, I've got my background, which is the blue, my label text, which is that total events reported. And if I was to click on here, my target would be the metric. And the metric is that number. So I'll just go back to my colors. And the first thing I'm going to do is remove anything that I don't want. So I'm going to take off the comparison data. My labels text, I'll go to my metric, and I'm going to add some formatting. I want it to be bold, and I want the text size to be 30. Continue and apply. Because this is my total investigations, if I go back to that background color, I actually want that color there as well. So I'm going to grab that background color and go straight over to my total investigations. And I might do it backwards this time. I'm going to go take off that, up arrow and the volume. I click on my background, Control V, copy and paste, continue. My label text, I'm going to change that to metric, add my formatting, and my text size is 30. Add formatting that it's bold, continue and apply. Going back to those graphic equalizers, remember I'm doing this one backwards. I'm going to add in it's going to be total investigations. And that's all there is to it. So I'll go this one, completed events. Looks like I've already done that one, completed events. Go to my colours. My metric is bold and 30. And that colour, I'm not quite sure about that colour. So I'm going to grab that colour again. It's my background. And I can change that colour here. I might make that probably a bit darker. Probably that one. Grab that colour. Continue. And apply. Go to my completed investigations. Take off the colour rules. Go to my background. Control V. Continue. And my metric. Add bold. Text size is 30. Continue there. And apply. Back into my settings. It's going to be completed investigations. All right, let's have a look there. Oh, I know what I've forgotten to do. Hide, apply. Let's have a look at that. Oh, one more. All right, what have we got left? We got our underway. Underway, I'll go to my settings. Hide, apply. This is called underway events. With my color palette. My background, this time I'm going to choose that orange color. And continue. And my metric text color is white. Bold. Text size is 30. Continue, apply. I'll do this orange one now. We're nearly there. Continue. Want my metric text size is 30 and it's bold. Continue, apply, and down here I'm going to go underway investigations. And my pick is hide, apply. All right, one left to do. Not started. So my settings, hide, apply. How's that chat going, Paul? Is anyone chatting to us yet?
No, it's very quiet at the moment.
I told you I go too fast. They don't want to take their eyes off the screen. The background, I'm going to make that's a little bit red for me. Maybe that red. Just going to copy that. Continue, and my label text. I'm sure you know it off by heart now. Metric, bold, text size, 30, continue, and apply. Last one. Take off what I don't need. Go to my background, already copied that color. Text size 30, continue, and apply. And then my last thing here is that's going to be not started. Investigations, All right, it's always really good when you've been doing this much work and it's taken a while to do it, that you just continuously keep saving and want to save that again. Nothing worse than you go away, get distracted, the phone rings, you come back and everything you've done has gone. So what does that look like now? Oh, you can see I've missed one, not started events. Very quickly, settings, hide, hide, apply. All right, and you'll see that the dashboard has resized itself. That's okay, we can fix that. What I'm going to do is show you this one here, dashboard layout and the lock-in mode. So with my lock-in mode, I can actually lock my first line in place. That means I can't go back and shift it or change it around, and I can't mess with the settings. It's just going to lock it there. Then I'm going to take my lock-in mode off and have a look at that. And there you have it, people, the first row. That's our first row. The next thing I'm going to do is add the title at the top. So to add the title at the top, what we have is what's called rich text. So if I click on rich text, it's going to turn up there. What I want to do is shift that up to the top. And you'll notice that I can't shift it up to the top. It's because, remember, I've locked that. It's going to go ahead, unlock all of those. Are you putting some tips and tricks in the chat for me, Paul?
I am. I didn't want to ruin your flow, so.
And I'm going to shove this one up the top. Like that. And this rich text, click on my three dots and copy. I'm going to shove that one over there like that. All right. So this is my title at the top, and we see our untitled rich text. I'm going to rename that as my, I'm going to put report title. And that report title, just like these ones down here, I'm going to go to my settings and hide that as well and apply. So my heading here, I'm calling it Acme Group. And with my title, I can also make that bold and change the color of that. So I'll make that a nice blue, purpley blue. I press enter here and it automatically defaulted to body, and I can put a little subtitle, and I'll put in corrective actions. And being Acme, they have mining, healthcare, manufacturing. Oop. There we go. So there's my title. I'll have a quick look at that. It's my title there. Now on this side, this is where I want to add my logo for my company. So my logo for my company is added in here with the URL, add my image. So I'm just going to open up another page, and I've got my logo here as a URL. So with your company logos, if you want to put them in there, you're going to have to find them in the URL instance. So again, I'm going to go Control Copy, go back to my URL, add my image URL and apply. And while I've got that green, that pencil in green means I can edit. So I want my logo to be in the middle, and I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. And then click in my pencil, and there's my Acme. I'm going to change that to logo. Go to my settings, hide, and apply. Right, so remember back here in my minimum widget height and width, I made a 137. So what I'm going to do is drag that up, have a look at it. Not too bad, but I don't like these lines here. Bring it back down a bit. Now what does it look like? Well, that looks pretty good. My investigation events, I can make them a bit smaller. Back to that minimum height. That looks good too. And then now I'm going to lock all of those. So I go to my locking mode because that looks pretty good to me. And as I'm adding my visuals underneath, I don't want to start messing all of that up. My locking mode off. Save my year to date. It has been saved. And now it starts looking like that. So one thing you might be asking is, these total events reported, completed events underway. Where are they coming from? What's the timeline for these? So remember, these 4 came out of my events register, and these 4 came out of my investigations register. So what I'm going to do, and it's year to date, I'm going to one-click on my events reported, which opens up my time bar down the bottom. And as it's events reported, I'm going to come down here to my event date, and I want to change that to the reported date. And then if I bring this bar down even further, this means for my events register, that can also apply to my completed events, my underway events, and my not started events. And then I'll go to my calendar, to my presets, current year to date, apply. Now you'll see that this 4 widgets for my events are all reading. One click on my total investigations opens up my time bar. I'll click on incident date. I don't want the incident date. I want the investigation date. And that applies to those 4 visuals. Click in my calendar, to my presets, current year to date, apply. So team, that's the first 2 lines of my monthly report. Again, if I go to my view, this is how my report is going to turn out. From here, if you know, I'm just going to save that. If you know what visuals you want to put in here, you can add them in. In our next webinar, I can show you how to tutu with those standard visuals. But for this one, I'm going to go up to my add visual and I add an existing visual. And I'm going to add my top events by site. I turn up there. Corrective action status. I'll put events by severity. I'm just going to put my event categories. My KPIs. And you'll see as I'm adding these visuals that I made from my visual gallery, it's actually taken them off the list that I could add to. Events by type. And right down at the bottom, I'm going to add my register. So that should appear down the bottom. So I've added all the visuals and I can start sorting them out a little bit. Actually, it's not looking too bad. My event register, I want to put it down here at the bottom. There's my event register. So now that I've added those events and visuals from my event categories, my KPI events by severity, things like that, we're going to check along these reported dates. Again, I can go down to my grab a visual, go down to my reported date, scroll down, and we can say we want all of those added to my year to date. Current year to date and apply, and you'll see a heap of them are reading for the year to date. If I wanted this one there, I can just grab that one and just change it with that one. I can resize them. And resizing is quite easy with this responsive layout because it's telling me where I could put them, but I can change that. And of course, I could add another visual in there. We'll save that, and it tells me the following visuals have unsaved changes. I'm going to save them all. Save. And now let's have a look at our dashboard. Starts looking a bit like this. Again, with all these visuals, this is the header and the pickers. I could hide those pickers. I'm going to hide that one, but show the event title. And you can continue to do that across all your visuals. I could lock them all down again with my locking mode. I like that row now, and I lock that in place. And we'll have a look at those first two rows. From here, you could export that as a screenshot, a PDF, or you could schedule that report to be sent out. And remember that dynamic date, current year to date, it's always going to change. So what does that look like printed out? Looks a little bit like this. My ACME group monthly report year to date, and with our conditional formatting on our event register for the month. So going back to our homepage, there's my year to date. And that, people, is how to make your group monthly report year to date. Does anyone have any questions about that report? I'll go and have a look at the chat now. Paul, is there anything there in the questions and answers?
Yeah, certainly. Yes, so Corinne just asked about the date that Yellowfin will be disabled, and that really depends on what your agreement is with Ideagen Damstra. So yeah, please reach out to your account manager if you're not sure of that. And a lot of the agreements are quite different. So if your agreement has a different date to the end of September, then obviously we'll honour that as well. See something coming through from Peter. Can we set up all of our Yellowfin reports like Yellowfin without all the visuals so they can be exported on a schedule for our end of month reports? Yeah, so what you can do, you don't need to use the visuals that Ruth's shown here. You can actually just use the most simple visual is a table. So you can absolutely set up a schedule just to export a table.
Just like I'll just add the events register, and this is conditionally formatted, and I might just call that events register. I'll save that. Oh, it says it already exists.
Yeah, so the export would honor that formatting like that as well. But yeah, you can export out to an Excel file or to it's a CSV.
Or you can schedule that report as a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So this is how you'll get that simple events register scheduled just as the pure data.
So while you've got this that dashboard up and running there, Ruth, Owen's just asked if we can do a quick test with showing how to apply filters.
Apply filters to this dashboard pool.
Yeah.
Sure. Up here in this events register, I've got what's called my dashboard filters. And this little filter here is my table filters or my visual filters. As this is the only register or the only visual I'm going to have in this dashboard, my event register, I would go up to the top to this filter, and I'm going to add a filter that the level 2 name, this register could just be for mining, or I just want it for mining and construction, continue and apply. So now my site name is just mining and construction. If you had many visuals, but you just wanted your register, you'll come up here to your filters. I want to add a filter that the event type is my event type here, could include or exclude. I'm going to go include illness, incident, injury, and near miss. Continue and apply. And then I would save that visual and save my dashboard.
And what about, Ruth, if I wanted to make that more flexible for doing on-screen, so those operational filters to actually put them on the screen instead of filtering the data through the visual?
Up here in the add a filter snippet.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sorry. So I was answering questions. Yes.
So I'm going to add a filter snippet, and I might want to put that right. I'm going to put category name, category name, and I can go to my settings, and my data type is going to be from the, is this right, Paul? From the events register.
Yeah, that's right.
And the column is going to be my category name. And use the value column as the display column, yes. And apply. And then, of course, I can go to my settings, and I could have a single selection, multiple selection, and Paul says filter change values on submit. And my fixed list or a drop-down list. So I might make that a drop-down list. All right, so here's my filter, and I can change that around. Put that at the top.
And you can add filters from different sources to talk to each other. You just need to ensure that obviously both sources need to have, in this instance, would need to have a category in it to be able to do that filter.
So I just want to have a look at my categories called activity task, and what else? Any allergens, electrical shock,
And
equipment.
did you hook that?
And
I was just going to say, did you hook that visual, that filter snippet to the visual?
this one here?
Yeah, that's the one.
I want to connect.
Perfect. So
my
with
events register.
Yeah, with filter snippets, you need to tell them what visuals on your dashboard you want them to affect or to change. So so that's just what that is.
Sorry about that. I forgot that little step.
And the cool thing with using filter snippets is you could actually save this dashboard now and it will remember those category names that Ruth's put in there. So yeah, the next time you load this dashboard, it'll have those preloaded. So I guess in the world of safety dashboards, that can be really helpful if your filter is, say, on a site level. You could have it so that you might be putting a filter in to look at your events data, but you only want it to see a particular site level or a particular business unit. So you could set this up so that you've got essentially the one dashboard, and then you can just save the filter value so that it loads a particular business unit's events. And that same principle applies if you want to filter to, say, performance indicators or things like that. You can filter performance indicators directly to that business unit.
That's great. Thanks, Paul. Right, back in the library. Is there anything anyone else wants to see or ask Paul?
So I've added some links through to the user guide. Now the user guide is available in the hamburger menu in the top right corner of Insights. So you can see, yeah, help. So that'll get you into the help guide. I've also put a link into the Ideagen Damstra YouTube site as well, so that you can see the Damstra Insights. If you just do a filter to Damstra Insights, you'll be able to see all of the webinars and training sessions that Ruth's already prepared. And Prakash has also mentioned that if you do want additional training, you can reach out to your account managers and we can organise that too. Sorry, I realised I was off camera.
Alrighty then, Paul. I think we've covered quite a lot today for these people. Really appreciate you being here for us and answering those questions. Everyone here, feel free to keep adding questions to that chat. Have a look at those guides. And otherwise, if there's nothing else, we'll keep an eye on the chat. And
I was just going to add that we really do listen to the feedback that customers provide. So so if you do have any questions, or if there's any data that you're wanting to get access into your insights reports that are in the safety module and you can't see them in a data source already exposed in Insights, please let us know. So just reach out to the add a support ticket, and that'll eventually come through to my team, and yeah, we can help out with adding those additional fields to any existing sources. So we've been doing that ever since we launched, and I think we've got a much more mature set of data sources in the system now. So I'm hoping that we don't have too many more gaps there, but safety is quite a large solution. So I'm sure that there may be a few more in there. But if there is, as new modules come online with safety, the BI team will come through and add new dashboards to support those new modules.
All right. Thank you so much again, Paul. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And as Paul and Prakash have said, please reach out to the service desk if you need anything. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. And thank you again. So that's all from me.
Thanks, everyone.